Hello everyone. So today we are going to start our new chapter of our 10th standard, that is Introduction of Microbiology, which is the 7th chapter of SSC board. So Introduction of Microbiology. So first we are going to see about what the meaning of microbiology, right? So microbiology, it's a, you can say it's a micro. Yeah, there is a two term. It's a micro and the other one is a biology, right? So micro, it means a tiny particle. It means a tiny particle. What the meaning of micro? Micro, it means a tiny particle, right? Right, tiny particle. And what the meaning of biology? Biology is basically a living thing. It's basically a living, living, living organism. You can say, right? So study of a living. You can say study of a tiny particle. You can say study of a microorganism is basically, you can say, it's a microbiology, right? So microbes, yeah, in an environment, inside the earth, on a earth, there are the multiple of, you can say, there are the many microorganisms are there which are survive on a earth. There are the many microorganisms are useful for human beings and other organisms also, and some microorganisms are the harmful. So in this chapter, we studied about the different types of microbes which are used in a production of different types of product. Right. So for the study of microorganisms, yeah, we the organism, what the microorganisms, you can say, the organism which cannot see with the naked eyes. That organism is basically said to be a microorganism. Right. So study of that microorganisms is basically said to be a study of, you can say, a study of microorganisms is basically said to be a microbiology. So we can say study of microorganisms, right? Micro, it's study of microorganisms is basically said to be a microbiology. So let us study about the different types and different branches of microbiology. So what are the different, you can say, what are the different branches of microbiology? The first, you can say, it's a applied microbiology. The first one is applied microbiology. Yeah, applied microbiology is a branch of biology which is study with the enzyme related to prokaryotes and the eukaryote microbes. Yeah, the microbes are classified in a different categories. The first category is the prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Yeah, microorganisms are also called as microbes. The microbes are classified in a different categories. That categories, the first category, you can say, it's a prokaryote or a eukaryote, right? So the basic difference in a prokaryote and the eukaryotes are basically said to be a nucleus, right? In the prokaryotes, in a prokaryotes, the nucleus is absent. Right? The nucleus is absent. The nuclear membrane is absent. Sorry, the nuclear membrane is absent. Yeah, we know that if the cell is there, the cell organelles carries a certain type of membrane, right? Cell organelles carry a certain type of membrane. That membrane, if the cell wall carries a cell membrane, nucleus carries a nuclear membrane, right? So that membrane is basically helpful in the protection of that organ. Yeah, we know that we, in a human being, the skin is a type of membrane. Yeah, it protects from outside the damage, and it protects from a outside damage. So prokaryotes doesn't have a nuclear membrane. That it has a nucleus, but it's a false nucleus. We said, yeah, it's a false nucleus. The next thing is a eukaryotic microbes. Eukaryotic microbes is basically, it's a present. The eukaryotic microbes nucleus is present. Nucleus is present. Nucleus present रहेगा and all the functions are carried out. So study the enzymes which are secreted in prokaryotes or the eukaryotes microbes. For that study is basically said to be a applied microbiology. Then it comes to the protein. There are the many proteins which are synthesized inside the body, which are synthesized in the industries. For that studies is basically also said to be a, yeah, there are the many microorganisms are used for the synthesis of certain food, which includes a certain type of protein, like the applied genetics, that is a molecular biology, right? This we said that this study of this type and this thing is basically said to be a applied microbiology. For this study is basically used in the society. Yeah, this study used in the society for the, you can say, the for the production of food and medicine. Yeah, you know that there are the microorganisms which are used in the food. There are the multiple of microorganisms are used in the medicine. The food, you can take an example of, you can take curd, yogurt, bread, right? Bread हो गया, cheese, right? Cheese हो गया. These are the food example which are used a microbe for the production. There are the certain medicines which are produced from a microorganisms like a penicillin, ampicillin. These are the antibiotics and the medicines which are used we use for the with the help of microorganisms. So this study of these characters of microorganisms is basically said to be it's a applied microbiology. The next one is industrial microbiology. The next one is industrial microbiology. The name suggests industrial. Yeah, the name suggests is industrial. So what the meaning of industrial? Industrial microbiology is basically, we said it's a commercial use of microbes. It's a commercial use of microbes. It said basically for the production of microbes, not a microbes, you can say it's a production of a various products which are economical benefit, which are economical benefits, right? And we that we can say it's a large scale production. The industries produce of food in a large scale, right? That's why we said it's a industrial microbiology. So various microbial processes useful for the purpose that are carried out. So there are the multiple of microbial process which are used in the industries for the synthesis of different types of food, different types of medicine, right? So on a large scale, yeah, we cannot produce in a, you can say, in a small scale in the industry. It's produced in a large scale for the commercial use, right? For the export and import, right? That is basically said to be an industrial microbiology. The next thing, it's a industrial microbiology. It's a main feature. What are the main features of industrial microbiology? The first feature is, you can say, the first feature. The first feature is a various production with the help of fermentation process, like a bread, cheese, wine, raw materials for the chemicals, enzyme, nutrients, and medicines. These are the, you can say, the various production carried out with the help of fermentation process, and the fermentation are carried out with the help of different types of microorganisms. That the food which are produced from the fermentation process are bread, cheese, wine, right? These are the products which are produced in a industries, right? The use of microbes for garbage management and the pollution control. Yeah, there are the multiple of microbes and the microorganisms which are used for the garbage management, and nowadays it's also used for the pollution control. Nowadays they also control for the pollution control, like a sensor waste, right? So these are the main features that basically we studied in a further slide, in a further topic. The next thing is basically said study to about the first is a product. What are the different product which are produced and production are carried out under the industry? The first product is a dairy product. The first product is dairy product. So dairy product is basically is a milk product which are converted into a various product for its preservation purpose. Milk cannot be preserved for the long time, right? So we need a product like they can be stored for many days, right? Like you can take a cheese, butter, cream, coffee, yogurt. These are the example of a milk product which are stored for the longer time, right? And we said that the water content of a milk that changes during the formation of these products, and the texture, taste, and flavor is improved. So we take the milk carried a water, right? But in the cheese, butter, cream, yogurt, the water is removed from the milk, and we added a texture, flavor, taste for the materials for the production of that product. So these processes are performed on a large scale. These processes are performed on a large scale, and they need for production like I say the bacteria. They used a bacteria, right, which are present in a milk, which are present in a milk. Only is a cheese produced with the help of fungi. Yeah, they take an example of this. Yeah, this thing. There's a cheese, yogurt, and the butter, cream, coffee. But only the cheese which are produced from a fungi, that is Streptococcus. But the all of the product which are say that are produced from a you can say it's a it's a bacteria also, and which are bacteria present in milk itself, right? Milk is pasteurized first. Milk is pasteurized first. Yeah, milk is pasteurized at the beginning to destroy unwanted microbes. The milk is pasteurized at a certain temperature for a certain period of time. Then the unwanted microorganisms which are not used, for in this process, that microorganisms are destroyed. Right? Then it fermented with the help of lactobacilli. Then we added a certain some amount of lactobacilli to the milk, and this process, lactose sugar of the milk is converted into a lactic acid, and milk protein are coagulated with the help of lactic acid. So see this first. The milk is pasteurized first, right? It's a pasteurized first. Then the that milk is added the lactobacilli. Inside the milk added a lactobacilli. It's a bacteria that added into a milk. That we know that the lactose sugar which are present inside the milk. So lactobacilli uses a lactose sugar and convert into a lactic acid. Remember that the lactobacilli is a bacteria which is used a lactose sugar which are present in the milk are converted into a lactic acid, and milk protein are coagulated. That coagulation, as we said, it's a curd, right? Or it's a further it used for the certain compounds for a flavoring agent or the taste agent. In the butter, it's a diacetyl. Diacetyl is an example which have a flavor of a butter. So remember the example for the butter flavor. That is a diacetyl which is used for the butter flavor. The next is a yogurt product. So yogurt product is, you can also say yogurt is a milk product, right? Yogurt are produced from a milk itself. So it is used or inoculated, or you can say it's a lactobacilli. It's produced with the help of lactobacilli. Yeah, it's the use of lactobacilli. The milk content you can say milk content is maintained, and condensed milk powder is mixed with the milk to be fermented for the industrial production. Yeah, remember that the condensed milk powder. Milk powder is mixed with the milk, the fermented milk, which fermented milk? Fermented milk itself, the milk which contain a lactobacilli. That milk is mixed with the condensed milk powder, and that milk powder is then boiled. Then milk is boiled, and once it's cooled to warm temperature, the another bacterial strain, like that is Streptococcus thermophilus and the Lactobacilli derbici. So these two bacteria are added after the milk is boiled and comes to cool at a warm temperature. Then that two bacteria is added at a 1:1 proportion. Then the lactic acid is formed due to the streptococcus. Streptococcus are you can say lactose, streptococcus convert a lactose sugar into a lactic acid, and that makes the protein to gel out, and this gives a dense consistency of a yogurt. Then the acetaldehyde, that compound are formed due to the lactobacilli, that gives a characteristic taste to the yogurt. Remember, we added two bacteria, that is a Streptococcus thermophilus and the Lactobacilli derbici, right? Streptococcus thermophilus is used for the conversion of lactose into a lactic acid. Lactobacillus derbici is used for the give a characteristics of a flavor. You can say acetaldehyde are formed, right, via lactobacilli. Nowadays we use various types of fruit juices. Nowadays we use various types of fruit juices to add into a yogurt to impart a different flavors. We can take an example like a strawberry flavor, strawberry yogurt, like a banana yogurt. These are the yogurt which are used, and then its probiotic properties can be improved by the pasteurization. There are the certain probiotic characteristics are we know that what the meaning of probiotic means and what the probiotic said is a further topics. So these are the yogurt products. So the yogurt, remember the yogurt product is a milk product which are used for two types of bacteria, that is Streptococcus thermophilus, Lactobacilli derbici. When the milk contained, you can say the condensed milk powder is mixed with the milk. Condensed milk powder is mixed with the milk which are fermented, are basically are the boiled at a certain temperature. Then it's cool. Then we add two different types of bacteria. Then that bacteria is converted or lactose into a lactic acid that gives a gel out of the, you can say, the dense consistency of a yogurt. Then the lactobacilli produces a aldehyde that gives a certain characteristic taste to the yogurt. And we nowadays we use different types of fruit juices for the different flavors, right? So this thing you have to remember the yogurt products. Now it's a butter. There are the two types of butter. The first one is a sweet cream butter and the culture butter. These two butter which are produced on a large scale inside the industries. There are the many types of microbes are used and cultured for the production of these types of butter. These things. So remember that butter is two types: sweet cream butters and cultured butters. During the industrial production, you have to remember the certain things for the production of, or you can say, any type of product. So the things is basically that during the industrial production of a milk product, strict cleanness and sterilization is essential, as the bacteria can attack by the viruses, and also the viruses resistance varieties of the bacteria are developed. Hence, use of mutant varieties of bacteria has been increased. So yeah, there are the many bacteria. There are the many bacteria are used for the production of you can say certain types of product from milk. So that bacteria can harm and can attack by the certain viruses and that can resist, right? So for to avoid that the things we use and we take a certain cleanliness and sterilization processes. So artificially and some strains are developed that will help to avoid unnecessary steps and materials. Freshly prepared cheese is always soft. Yeah, remember that if you prepare a freshly cheese that always has a salt, like a cottage cheese, cream cheese, mozzarella cheese. The sorting of this basically takes a 3 to 12 months, and semi-hard cheddar cheese is formed after a ripening for a 12 to 18 months. Ah, remember that if we make that cheese and store for the 12 to 18 months for the cheddar cheese, right? So these are basically said to be a Parmesan cheese which is formed. It's a very hard, right? We store that cheese for the hardness, for the hardness. So these things you have to remember that for the production of for the production of certain types of product, and you can say also dairy product, right? The another thing you have to remember that the probiotics. Another thing you have to remember that it's a probiotic. So probiotic, it's also a milk product which contain active bacteria. Which contain active bacteria. It means that the bacteria which is life. Bacteria which is life. So there are the examples of bacteria which is used in a probiotics like lactobacillus acidophilus, lactobacillus casei, let's bifidobacterium and bifidum, right? So these bacteria are used in a milk product that having a properties of a prebiotic. It's a probiotic. So these microbes contain or balance the intestinal microorganism and increase the population of microbes, helping the digestion and decrease the population of a harmful microbes. Yeah. So when we eat and you can say eat a milk product that having you can say properties like a probiotic that contain a certain type of bacteria, right? So that bacteria kills the harmful bacteria. That bacteria kills the harmful bacteria, and it help the increasing the population of microbes which help in the digestion process. Now we know that we need a certain types of microbes for the digestion process. There we need many microbes for the digestion process, right? So there are the certain harmful microbes like Clostridium. Clostridium is a microbe, the microorganisms which harm a human being, right? Which are present in the soil. So we study in a ninth standard that Clostridium having a certain types of harmfulness to the living organism, like I say the human being. The probiotic products are available in a various form. You can say it's available in a various form like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, like the pickle of garbage. There are dark chocolate are there. There's a mouse soup. There's the pickles, oils, corn syrup, artificial sweeteners are there. There are microalgae, which are the sea food like a cholera, blue green algae. These are the seafood. You can take an example. So these are the probiotics example, and you can take a product which are having a useful for the human being. So there are the question why the probiotics have developed much important in a recent days. Why these are useful? Because these products form the colonies of useful microbes in an elementary canal. Yeah, we know that the probiotics help in the production and the maintenance of microbes which are help in the digestion process and any other function microbial processes, right? So for that we need a probiotic, right? And the other controlling of microbiology microbes also. There are the certain metabolic activities. There are certain improve resistance and lower the ill effect of harmful substances during the metabolic activities. That the usefulness that usefulness characteristics of a probiotic that are used nowadays, that is it's the much importance and developed for the use of probiotics. Nowadays there are the multiple of antibiotics they are used. There are the multiple of antibiotics used to treat the certain illness effect, right? So antibiotics can inactivate the probiotic. Antibiotics are inactivate the probiotic. So we need a probiotic again for the activation. So nowadays probiotics are used to treat the diarrhea and the treatment of poultry also. Yeah, we use all different types of diseases to treatment. Right, nowadays diarrhea, to treat the diarrhea we use a probiotic. So remember the probiotics terms. There are the certain microorganisms in a probiotic. We use or live organism. Right, we use a active bacteria like lactobacillus acidophilus, lactobacillus casei. These are the microorganisms are used, and the many things are basically what the beneficial of that probiotics are to maintain the population of microbes that help in the digestion and decrease the population which are harmful microbes like a clostridium. And there are the also a benefiter like that improves the metabolic activities, that improve the resistance, that lower the ill effect of harmful substance. And these are the usefulness, or you can say the advantages to uses of probiotics. Right. So ending with this today's lecture, we will see the different types of many different types of product in a next lecture. So if you have any doubts, just ask on the comment section. Right. Thank you so much.